Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to make some Tuscan chicken fajitas. So make traditional fajitas but with more of a Tuscan or Italian taste to it, including guacamole. I have a bunch of herbs, basil, fresh basil, which is important in guacamole. And here I have some chicken strips I diced up just a little bit ago. Put some Italian dressing, just some Italian salad dressing on there. So just stirring that up. Throw that in the oven. And set the timer for 12 minutes. I have some mushrooms. Fresh tomatoes. And this is pepper. Just onions and peppers. Some of these vegetables don't have a strong flavor. Just going to be sauteing these. And then once the chicken's done, basically throw it all together in a tortilla. I make some guacamole too, so we'll add that in there. Add some sour cream, and you can put tomatoes, fresh tomatoes in there, little tiny pieces. And as many as these as you're cutting, it's not like you're adding them to something you're going to have this big amount of vegetable. You're basically making a bowl of onions or the tomatoes, and you take out as you're filling your fajita. You're taking just as much as you want, so it doesn't matter if you make too much. And I'm going to saute the mushrooms beforehand so that they're soft and not raw. That's another step there. And the other nice thing with having the vegetables, the onions and peppers and mushrooms separate, is this one is going to be a little bit spicier. So you can keep that to the side, and then anybody that doesn't want spicy doesn't need to worry about it. Cut up stuff to put in the guacamole, which is a lot of the same stuff here, but I'm going to dice it very fine. You're looking for a little bit of caramelizing, some brown, not a lot, but there's some. That's one piece. Okay. Just thinking, let's go 4 minutes. Right here is where I cook the vegetables. So turn that on to medium. And as far as the vegetables go, I use butter for the mushrooms. Alright, that's the chicken. It's definitely done. When I last saw it, it was pretty much done. Just wanted to brown it just a little bit more. You can kind of see pieces of brown more. Turn the stove off, or the oven off. One thing to note also is, as the mushrooms cook, they shrink a little bit. So it's not like you're going to get this expansion and things are going to get more crowded. Turn that down a little bit. It's more of a medium-low. One last thing I was going to do is the basil. This basil I will throw in with the tomatoes. Oh yeah, and also some for the guacamole. Cut some more up for that. I saw this recipe for Italian guacamole. It was actually making some leftover dish with steak and an avocado. So I looked up, found out fajitas. Thought that was pretty cool, so I made some Italian fajitas. And we'll mix the guacamole in this. This is a plate here. I'm going to put the mushrooms on and the other vegetables as they're finished cooking. It's pretty much ready here. I'm just going to look and see what else is going on next. I'll put the onion on. And the peppers. These are going in the guacamole. The rest of this all goes in the pan. Separate these. Those are guacamole. I like to put these on in a certain order. The peppers and onions take longer to cook, so I don't want to put the tomato on and then have them burn. Right here is the rice. That is pretty much done. I need to stir this. I want to add the tomato near the end of this. Grab this, bring this over here. This is the basil. Here's what it looks like. It's not, I should have showed you this before the tomatoes, but it wasn't much different. Just throw that on for a minute or 2 minutes or so. I have one sausage too. I should have brought that out earlier. It's already cooked. It comes pre-cooked. I just should have thrown that sausage in about halfway through cooking the vegetables. But I will just cook the vegetables a minute or two more, like I was saying, and then leave the sausage in there. And I'm putting the vegetables right here. You know, the sausage being cooked already, there's not really much other than heating it up that's needed. You can add some good flavors to a dish like this, since it's fajitas. You can add roasted garlic vinaigrette, which I love. There's an Italian vinaigrette, which I put on the chicken before I cook the chicken. Okay, basil, onion, salt, dash of pepper, this back on. Since I'm pretty much done with this. Stir that back together. Okay. I'm just gonna use the Parmesan later in the final assembly of the fajita. Dice up tomato to put in there too. Just a little bit. Just put a little bit in, stir it in, check out how it looks. That's done. Make sure this doesn't stay over the burner that it used to be on. Since we had the oven on a little bit earlier, I'm just going to take this tortilla, use the leftover heat in there, and this is where you could use several different sauces to go with this. Sour cream, roasted garlic vinaigrette. These are both very unique. White balsamic reduction, and this is a roasted garlic vinaigrette. Unique flavors. When I think of fajitas, I tend to think of unique. A little more off the beaten path than just a plain old taco. Here's another cheese I like. The Italian Sharp. What it is, it's basically similar to a Fontina, but it has a little bit of sharpness to it. There we go. Put some peppers on the mushrooms like that. Some fresh basil. As you might be able to see here, I kind of went crazy and put a lot of stuff on it. So I don't have any room for sour cream then. There's always room for cheese though. Always. That was the Italian Sharp, and then this is the Parmesan. Worst case scenario, you eat it with a fork. I'm going to put this sauce on part of it, just because I'm kind of curious on how it would taste.